Should you get a low-paying job or a high-paying job? Well, duh, I want a high-paying job. Are you sure? In this video, I'm going to break it down. If you want to become rich long-term, if you want to actually become an entrepreneur and succeed and get your freedom, which means that you can choose your times and the times that you work, but you can also choose to do what you actually love to do. And if at some point you've done a career for several years and are successful at it, and you want to do something else, you can do something else. So that's what we're trying to talk about here on this channel. We're not trying to just try to, get as high paying job as possible so that you can be stuck with golden handcuffs in the matrix forever. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get you out of the matrix, out of the situation that you're currently in, where you're poor and you're not, you're living from paycheck to paycheck and you want to get out of that. So how do we do that? Should you get a low paying job or a high paying job? So what I've written down here is, if we just take away the money out of the equation, okay, the money is going to come. It's going to come exponentially and you're going to make a lot of money long term. But in the beginning, is it wise to make a lot of money short term? I would rather focus on these items first, and then we can start talking about how much money are you actually making from the job, and then we can replace the low-paying jobs with higher-paying jobs if they fit the criteria that we've got on this list right here, okay? So what's on this list? Number one, I wrote down fits with your business or other money-making schedule, okay? So if you are, for example, trying to get 2 or 3 jobs because one job won't give you 80-hour work week or 70-hour work week or whatever it is that you're trying to build up to, then it's a problem to have that job. Like, an example of this is that you don't want to work night shift, right? You never want to work night shift, ever. No matter how highly you're being paid during the night, you're going to get screwed over long term if you work night shift because of the way that your brain functions, and your brain power is going to deplete. As a result, over time, you're going to make worse decision-making processes and you're going to get screwed over long term. So never ever work nights. Having said that, now that we know, if you get a job that's between 10 and 8, okay, or 12 and 8 p.m., that's kind of difficult, or 10 and 6. Like, it's a horrible job to have because you can't fit anything in the morning and in the evening. Like, it's going to be extremely difficult to make that work. Like, it can work, but it's just very difficult, okay? So and that would be more important for me to figure out, because if I have a 10 to 6 job, as an example, what am I going to fit in the mornings and in the evenings? What can I have in my schedule that allows me to do it in the morning and in the evening? Because the entire middle of the day is kind of screwed over and taken away. So the only thing I could potentially have is in the morning, but like, how early do you want to wake up? Like, can you get anything done before you have to work, like at 8, 9? The only thing you can do with such a schedule is like have a business. That's it. You can't have 2 jobs. You can't do anything else. And even the business hours are kind of messed up because everyone is sleeping, when you want to do business. And then in the evening, everything's closed and people are with their families. So it's a messed up kind of situation. So I would look at that first. That's way more important than how much you make, right? So a low-paying job is actually not that bad if it pays okay and it fits your schedule, your money-making schedule. Okay, so that was number one. Number two, you want to make sure that it allows you to remain healthy. Like, you don't want it to be risky, because if your health is put at risk in a job, I mean, it's even worse if it's low paying and risky, but if you have something that is high paying, but you have to use your own car, you have to drive in the winter, you have to work nights, you have to, carry heavy meats, as an example, and you have to do that every single day, and it's like your body is deteriorating on a continuous daily basis when you work there. Maybe you shouldn't work there, right? If it's a temporary basis and you have to do it in order for you to, to have money coming in before you get another better job, it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers. But if we have the opportunity to choose, and with this channel and my other video, how to get a job fast, you can choose. So you're just going to take the the job that is the best compared to all of these different things. And if something is extremely risky, you want to kind of step away from that, because that's going to be a problem if you die, or if you are in a situation where you become handicapped or in some way, shape, or form, right? You don't want that. So you need to stay clear of that, even if it's high paying, right? So this is why I kind of tell people to avoid driving jobs, especially if you're in a, like a northern hemisphere type thing, because I did that. It was very risky. I almost died multiple times driving on Norwegian roads during the winter with big vans that had products in the back. You don't do that. It's unnecessary and scary, and you don't make that much money for it to actually be worth it. Okay, so that's what I'd recommend. Or not recommend, right? Okay, the other one is you want to do something that actually requires little brain power or no brain power while you actually do the activity. Why would you want to do that? Aren't you supposed to learn while you earn, so that it allows you to actually develop skill sets, yada yada? You have to remember that you're trying to work harder on your business than you are working on your job. You want your job to be somewhat brain dead, so your thoughts can be operating towards business all of the day. Like, you want to be able to be obsessed about your business and think about your business while you're working at a different, at a job, But you can only do that if it's kind of like a brain dead job, right? The only time when I recommend a sales job, as an example, because sales is something that you need to learn in order for you to succeed in business, right? And a lot of people are like, should I do it? I need to make an own video about that. But should I do sales job, or should I do, a brain dead job? And I'm like, go with the brain dead job, because you're going to be selling most probably in your business. And you don't want to be selling 2 different products and 2 different businesses during the day. So I'll make another video about that. But just understand, you want as less brain power needed as possible in a job. And that's more important than actually being paid well. And then the last thing that I'm writing down here, you want to keep your costs and your expenses down when it comes to a job. And what does that mean? It means that you don't take a taxi to work, right? Like, I've heard of people that do that. Don't take a taxi to work, especially if you're in a first world country. Like, if you're in third world country, taxis are very often cheap. In first world country, they're not, right? So you don't ever want to take taxi to work, because that means that you work 3 hours in order for you to just get to the job. No, okay? Like, be wise in how you structure this. And when it comes to, you don't want to have a car. Do you have to have a car in order for you to make money there? Like, that's going to drain mileage. That's going to require fuel. That's going to require insurance. That's going to, very often, you want a nicer car because you want to make sure it starts, right? So, like, there's all of these things that are part of creating an expense in order for you to have a job. So I would rather than you choose a job that's local to where you live, that you can walk there or bike there, because that's cheap, right? And that's way more important than actually having a high-paying job, okay? Because it gives you flexibility. It allows you to, if you set it up right, it allows you to go from one job to another job in walking distances from each other, because you don't have the luxury of having a car, and you don't want to take buses, right? It's an expense. You don't want to put an expense in a job that you're trying to just have in order for you to become an entrepreneur. So I'm giving you all of the priorities in order before you even start thinking about, how much am I being paid in this job? What you make is like 5th ranked on the list, okay? But once we do actually get to the money paying aspect, if you've taken care of all of these, now we're looking at the money side and being like, how much money do I actually make from actually working here? Because that's going to help me to stack cash, so that I'm never in a needy and desperate situation. I can do pay yourself first better, and I can I can build my business more because I have investment money if I would need it. But I don't recommend that you ever start with a business where you need money in order for you to actually start, other than coaching and community and those things that are necessary for you to actually succeed long term. Right? But other than that, you don't really need that much money. You just need money enough to cover your living expenses, which shouldn't be high anyway. So and also you got to remember, the higher paid job, the more brain power is going to go into it, the more likely it's going to have some form of expense, and most probably the expense is going to be that they expect you to work overtime unpaid, or that they have demands on you and quotas and stuff that you need to reach that causes you to be drained, that causes you to, can't think after work time. Like, that's a problem, because now you can't build your business. So the higher paid you are, the less time you're going to have to be able to spend on your business, which allows you or which causes you to have to be stuck in that job for a longer period of time than was necessary in the first place. Okay? But if all of those things are checked off and correct and well, now, okay, maybe as the 5th or 6th part of the priority list, now you can look at how much money am I making per hour. Simple. That's how you make a decision about which type of job you should have on your way to become an entrepreneurship. Now, you might completely and utterly disagree with this, and if you do, just make sure you comment down below. And if you do agree with this, man, say thumbs up and subscribe, and tell me what you like about this channel. Make sure you DM me at Instagram. I'm open to chat with any and all people at this point in time in my career, and I'm excited to chat with you directly, and I'll see you guys in the next one.